Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. Season 39 has kicked off and today we're here with War Number 1. SSX is taking on LAEPS. Our team today is going to be Nimrod, who was a mainstay last season, and then Thing and Galan making their Alliance War Attacker debuts for me. So first up we have a Super SKRULL on Electric Defense. Now with Galan, he's actually going to have 3 different sources of planetary mass in this fight. Whenever SKRULL gains an armor, hitting SKRULL with an armor up via the Electric Defense node, and then preventing the special lock from the Spaced Armor node. So you're going to see just how quickly our planetary mass is going to ramp up here. Now you saw that I was boosted here. That's really unimportant because the harvest damage from Galan is actually capped. It's a flat value, unaffected by outside attack modifiers here. So really, boosting is only important for health purposes, and that goes with the next fight, which is also a Galan fight. So you can see we're already at 999 harvest. Launch that special one to end it, and that kills him in one shot. What was it, a 20-second fight with Galan? I'll tell you what, I'll bring Galan to war any day of the week after a fight like that. All right, next up we have a Guardian on node number 20. Get parried there, that sucks. I had the indestructible boost on, thankfully, so I don't take too much damage. But the idea here is basically the same. So since Guardian has a permanent armor up buff, we're going to be getting planetary mass on every hit via the spaced armor, so we really just have to make sure that we don't trigger masochism too often. I kind of vacillate between dodging the SP1 and then just blocking it. Sometimes you get like block locked into it. It's really weird. So right there I block it because I know that I'm about to trigger the harvest and then kill him with the SP1. There we go. Start the harvest. We are up at 999 planetary mass, and again, one special one ends the harvest and kills him. Alright, next up we have a Kitty Pryde on the mini-boss node 22 with Hazard Shift and Aggression Prowess. This is a bit of a tricky fight. I think I took this fight once last season. So you need to avoid the Incinerate mode, of course, and I do have the Odin pre-fights to reduce the shock damage. The problem in this fight with Kitty Pryde is that the Aggression Prowess node feeds her phasing ability, so it's difficult once you're ramped up to kind of wait for an opportunity where you can counter that. So I backed into the corner, waited for her to throw a heavy and for the phase to drop off, and then countered with a special 2. Unfortunately, that was not enough to kill her. So we need to, kind of go back in. I didn't notice that she was back in Incinerate phase, so I'm again trying to back off and repeating the same cycle again here. Waiting patiently for that Incinerate to wear off. There we go, we're back in shock phase. And then I had to wait for the phase to wear off, and I thought I had the special 2 there, but I didn't, so that was a bit of a mistake for me. I thought I was going to have enough power there for the kill shot, but another combo after that finishes her off, so a little bit of potions required for that, not a big deal. Alright, next up we have a Domino, also on a shared fight on node 26. So with Conflictor, you just kind of have to pay a little bit of extra attention to that part of the node because Nimrod is going to apply debuffs, Power Drain, or Cowardice whenever Domino throws a special attack. So there's a good chance, unless you've been parrying quite frequently, that you're going to immediately give her 75% of a bar of power after she throws a special attack here. So, and then with Hazard Shift, we still have the Odin resistance pre-fight. So we don't have to worry about the shock damage. We don't necessarily have to only attack into her during the bleed phase. So right here, I'm just trying to be patient here for the special 2. She, of course, evades the very first hit because that's what Domino does. And then I'm trying to race back up to the special 2 for the kill shot here. She goes lucky and evades again because Domino is the absolute worst and she does Domino things. Trying to get to that special 2 before Extinction wears off. I see I'm not going to make it, so I switch back into Blitz Protocol and then fire off another special 2, and that ends up finishing the fight. So Domino, just the worst. Okay, moving on, we have a Mephisto on node 35, going to be taking in Thing for this fight. Thing, of course, will counter both parts of the Hazard Shift node, so we don't have to worry about that. And then for One Eye Open, we're just going to be playing Stun Immune, otherwise we're going to be taking a bunch of damage back. Other than that, this is a pretty straightforward fight. Mephisto, of course, Mystic Champ, so you do have to worry about Mystic Dispersion. Thankfully, Thing doesn't have a lot of buffs, and the ones that he does have are pretty controllable, so... And then in terms of the aura, you're just going to see me back off as soon as I trigger it. I really don't want to push him to the special 2 at all, because that's just going to prolong the power gain and limit my chances, my openings, further on in the fight. You're seeing me get Fury Passes there during the bleed phase, so when Thing gets bled, he will convert Rock Stacks into Passive Furies, which is nice. So at this point, I'm trying to get myself set up for a big special 2 to convert a bunch of Rock Stacks into Passive Furies to kind of increase my damage for the rest of the fight here. So baiting out this special one, go in, and then I take the chance with the unblockable buff, giving him a little bit of extra power for Mystic Dispersion, but I get a nice crit there, as you saw. Takes a nice big chunk, and we have up to 22 Furies now, which is nice. So we're going to pretty much just rinse and repeat here. I do make a bit of a boo-boo coming up here in a minute here, but other than that, it's, bait special one. He's being very cooperative, and if I don't get any more passive Furies, it's not a huge deal. Because our damage is pretty good right now, and this is, Thing is a very safe option for this fight, of course. So, all right, so I think coming up here in a minute, I'm going to get cornered because I'm trying to again here get set up for another big special 2, and I end up giving him way too much power. You're gonna see here. There we go. So I don't know what happened there. I lose all my indestructible charges, and I kind of go into like panic mode here. Toss the special 2. But the aura is up, and the dex buff gives him too much power, and now I'm like, oh crap, he's going to toss the special 3. I try and toss my heavy to activate protection. He throws the special 3. I'm not sure if you noticed that. There was like maybe half a second left in my protection when he tossed that special 3. So I luck out big time here. It does essentially no damage. His regen is over, so now we're kind of resetting ourselves and starting back from square one. Just trying to play it a bit safer there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I could have done better there. Probably not panic in the corner is probably the answer. But either way, Thing again, an extremely safe counter for this fight, and finish that off with a special 1 there. So if I have to take that fight again, I'm definitely going to be better prepared for sure. All right, next up we have a Havok here on node 45. Yet another hazard shift node. This one's pretty standard, so shock bleed, similar to the domino fight. We don't necessarily have to wait out the shock mode to be over since we still have the Odin pre-fight. And then with Nerves of Steel, he's going to take less damage per hit, but I don't think the dot is going to be affected by this, which is going to be our primary source of damage. With a Havok, I do like to get the energy vulnerability passive up first. That's going to negate a lot of Havok's energy resistance, and when I fire off the passive shocks, it's going to make them much more normal, like they would be against any other mutant here. So right here I make a big mistake, and I do not switch modes into Blitz before firing off that special 2, so I get no shocks, which is a huge bummer. Yeah, that was a really silly mistake. The fight probably would have been close to over at that point. So I'm just trying to, again, work back up to the special 2. I have 10 protocol charges at this point, so I don't necessarily need to switch modes. Fire off that special 2, and that does end up the fight. So it could have been a little bit faster, but, a win is a win. All right, last fight of the war for me is a mini-boss up here on node 49. We have a SAURON, again, with the hazard shift node. This is a pretty tricky fight for me. So you do have to wait out the incinerate mode here, but because SAURON is stun immune on this node, I find his heavy extremely tricky to dodge and counter. So I'm trying to create additional space for myself while I wait to build up my special 2. Instead, I'm just face blocking in the corner. I managed to get the unblockable, the SP2 off rather, and then I'm going to fully dex that special 1. That's pretty good. I'm like 50-50 on these SAURON special 1s anymore. So, and he's pretty much almost dead from that special 2 there. So at this point, I know I'm going to win. I don't really care too much about the incinerate mode that he's in. I'm just trying to get back up to that special 2 and fire it off, and he goes down. So, a little bit of a rusty start for me for sure. But a victory is a victory. 7 kills for me, 0 deaths, and we have started off the season 1-0. You'd like to see it. So, yeah, look forward to more war videos this season. Hopefully I can keep up my deathless streak for another season. That would be awesome. Friends, if you like this, please let me know by hitting that like button. And as always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.